Welcome to the Sports World 1869, a world so large, you're a part of it whether you know it or not. Baseball is back. The cold weather is gone, and baseball is here. And I thought after the first week, which was of course opening week, very fantastic time, that I would give to you my week of review. So I was not surprised by the runs scored by the Rockies, the Blue Jays, the Red Sox, the Tigers, because those teams are so offensively potent that it was probably going to happen. They also were playing against not exactly the strongest teams. In fact, many of those teams I had projected to finish last in their division. So nothing complete unexpected. But what was surprising, though, was the pitching, because those teams, not the Blue Jays, but the other three, the Rockies, the Tigers, and the Red Sox, their pitching isn't that strong. So I was very surprised that it did as well as it did. I'm not saying it's completely bad, but I was very surprised with how it was doing. And I know it's just the first week, but still, I was very surprised. The defense wasn't as strong as the offense was this first week. A lot of teams made a lot of key errors that cost them games. The Nationals did it, the Blue Jays did it, the Padres did it, and many more teams did it as well. There was some moments that very hard to watch. It was like baseball players fielding with frying pan. Pitching was very solid. All the ace pitchers, except for Kershaw, I know, believe it or not, Kershaw. Besides him, everyone did a good job on their opening day, except for him, which is very ironic because, as you know or don't know, he was a Cy Young winner last year and is considered to be the best pitcher in all of baseball. I'm going to talk very briefly about every single team and my current outlook for them. Starting with the A.L East, Blue Jays. Offensively looked great. Donaldson was great. Devon Travis and Pompey really helped the bottom end to be a lot stronger than what people suspected. Dan Norris was solid. Hutchinson was solid. The bullpen and the rest of the staff needs a little bit of work, but overall looks great. Boston. Hanley needs to be better in the defensive area, but offensively showed he got good stuff. Pedroia is healthier than he has been in years. Betts and Bogarts will hopefully get this team better. Kelly and Buchholz had great starts. I don't know how they're going to do their next ones, but for now that's something very hopeful for Boston fans. Yankees, utter mess. CC Sabathia's velocity is not so great and affects him dramatically, and I think if he goes down, the rest of the team is going to go with him because they are utterly depending on him. The rest of the guys, Beltran, Ellsbury, they're kind of old. I don't know how good they're going to be right now. I'm not blown away or impressed. Maybe you are. Orioles, Adam Jones, and Chris Davis, very good offensively for this team, and the pitching staff has been pretty good, although Wayne Chen and Bud Norris were having some issues. But Bud Norris is bad, so no one's surprised there. Tampa Bay, obviously, pitching first, offensively second. Although Longoria did get a home run I should say, in this first game. But still, though, they're not going to score a lot of runs. They will, however, strike out a lot of guys. So you take that away any way you want. So let's talk about the A.L Central. Chris Sale needs to come back and lead this team with Jeff Samardzija, Jose Quintana, Abreu, Melky, Eaton, and the names go on, and they're going to win this division. It's got to come together and play well. Royals are undefeated. Enough said. The Tigers are also undefeated. But I'd just like to point out that David Price had a great start. He went 8 innings in his first round. Second time, he outdueled Kluber, which was fantastic. Ghost is a great leadoff hitter, at least as of right now. But with Verlander and Joe Nathan hurt, I don't know exactly how this team is going to be like in the future. Indians, defensively not good. Brantley needs to come out there and hit more. Yan Gomes is hurt. Kluber needs to stop getting outdueled. He is their ace pitcher. He's got to do better if they're going to want to win, and right now it has not been going that well. And if the team keeps playing like this, they're going to get overtaken by definitely the Tigers and most likely the Royals. Twins. Twins are the worst team in this division. I think no one denies this. I know it. You know it. Everyone knows it. I think Nolasco is hurt. Hughes is a bad ace pitcher, and even if Joe Mauer and Torrey Hunter have good years, they're not going anywhere. Okay, let's talk about the A.L West. First, the Rangers. A good thing to note, the whole team is healthy pretty much, so that's a good positive thing. Gallardo, not so much. He had a terrible start. Derek Holland is hurt again, and don't worry, a rant to follow. Overall, the Rangers, if they keep losing more starting rotation, they're not going to go anywhere. They might even finish last again. That's how bad this looks right now. Oakland, rotation is very solid, and Sonny Gray almost no-hit the Rangers, so I knew that was going to be great. Houston's in first place, believe it or not, although it is the first week, so a lot of crazy stuff like that happens. Dallas Keuchel, he pitched great for the opening, and the rotation is very solid, and so is the bullpen. At this point in time, you're seeing a lot of good performances there. Angels, pitching staff is okay. Offense needs to be better. Without Hamilton and Kendrick, I don't know if Pujols and Trout are going to be able to carry this team. Cole Calhoun hasn't done anything so far, and that needs to change. And needs to change right now. The Mariners look pretty good, although Paxton and Iwakuma were kind of shaky, and I think Cano and Seager and Cruz are going to have to step it up. I think Cruz might have hit his first home run and needs to hit a lot more. I know they're in that park where it's hard to do it, but if he wants to help this team get better, he's going to have to be better himself. I talked about the AL, let's talk about the NL. First, the Central. The Cardinals, they look great, the pitching is there, defense is there, but the hitting is not. Hayward is just, they got him to be more offensively productive, and of course because Oscar Taveras passed away, and they're just not offensively there yet. For the Cardinals to be successful, they have to pick it up on the offensive part. Everything else looks great though. Pirates, this is not the McCutchen show. Everyone has to help him out. I just feel like when I watch Pirate games, if you get McCutchen out most of the time, you're going to win the game. And I think Polanco and Harrison and Pedro and Neil Walker, they got to help him out there. It's not a one-man team. Pitching staff looks great, though. Defensively, Pedro's still making errors no matter where he goes. Too bad there's no DH in the NL. That'd be really helpful. Reds look great. They also look bad. Great because they won their first few games. Bad because of how they did it. It was walk-offs and last-minute heroics. The offense needs to be better. Marlon Byrd, where are you? I have no idea. Hopefully we do better. But if those kind of players don't help out, the Reds are going to go nowhere because you can't keep winning off those kinds of means. Brewers. What about the Brewers? Ryan Braun is he's kind of the key to this team, him and Lucroy, and if those two guys are not producing, this team is not going anywhere. I don't think they'd be going anywhere anyways because this is a very strong and competitive division, and they're dealing with a lot of other circumstances, so they're going to be, unfortunately, the odd man out. The Cubs. Lester had some issues with a dead arm during the spring training, and it looks like it translated a little bit to the season. His first two starts, not that sharp. I mean, they didn't give him $150 million to do that. Hopefully he does better. Arrieta looks good. He's not a one-hit wonder. I kind of thought he was going to be, but I'm being proven wrong, and that's always a good thing. Soler and Rizzo need to step it up here because his offense doesn't look that great right now. Dexter Fowler, I'm not impressed by him. They're winning by scrappy means, and this is not a scrappy team. Until Chris Bryant comes, I guess it's going to be that way. Let's talk about the N.L East. First off, the Braves. Julio Teheran is making this team look good, looking much better than they probably are. I know the Braves have good pitching, but the offense I didn't think would be there. It still isn't, but they got good defense and pitching, and that's what wins ball games. And Jason Grilli is saving games, which is it's kind of surprising to see that, but there you go. The Marlins. First off, Alvarez was good, but Latos had one of the worst, laughably bad starts I've ever seen. Giving up 7 runs, he looked terrible. Especially after all that time, he badmouthed the Reds organization. It was good to see he can't back it up. I was not impressed with them during the offseason. I know they got some key players, but I just don't think they're there yet, especially with the other two teams, which I'll mention later. Phillies right now are not going anywhere. Hamels is giving up too many runs. If he wants to get traded to the Red Sox, he should stop giving up runs to the Red Sox. Or any other team for that matter. So there's some issues there. Obviously, Cliff Lee will not be there for the entire season, so you got that to deal with. Aaron Harang is good, but his team, I just don't think they're going anywhere. They'll probably end up shopping more players as the year goes on, especially during the trade deadline. So stay tuned for that. The Mets look good with Matt Harvey. He's pitching very well. Cy Young potential caliber, although I don't know how many innings he's going to get if he can even qualify. But regardless, he looks very good. DeGrom looks very good. Without Wheeler, I'm not sure how far they're going to go, but Cologne's not bad. If Kadire and Wright are healthy with Lucas Duda, they should be a very good team. But Wright and Kadire have had injury issues. And overall, I think they're doing very good considering the fact they lost Wheeler. And also, unfortunately, they lost Mejia, their closer, to PAD for 80 days. So they still look good. Washington Nationals. Good rotation. Scherzer got, unfortunately, gypped because of the error from one of his teammates. And Strasburg had a bad start. Jordan Zimmerman looks good. The rest of the rotation looks good. Bullpen looks good. Until Span, Werf, and Rendon are on the field scoring for this team, they're going to have some problems because that's why the Mets were beating them. They weren't able to support their team's pitching. So until they can do that, they're not going to win the division. Let's talk about the N.L West. Paul Goldschmidt was very good drawing walks, getting key hits, and that's what his team needs from him. Jake Lamb, Jake Lamb, 7 RBIs already. That guy is so helpful to this team. I don't even know much about him. Unfortunately, my bad, but he is a great player. If Trumbo and Peralta, Enciarte, those guys make a very strong offensive lineup, and I haven't seen much of Tomas yet, but if he comes into the pitcher, this team looks great. Archie Bradler outdueled Clayton Kershaw, the best man in baseball, so he's good. Coal Miner, not so much, but there's a lot of talent here. And I think those guys they got from the Red Sox, Ruby De La Rosa and Alan Webster, have a good chance to make this rotation and team a lot better. Dodgers had some issues, no doubt. First off, Kershaw not looking so sharp his first 2 appearances. His ERA is like above 5. Can you believe that? Above 5. Greinke, he looks fine, but more pitch efficiency would be better. Brandon McCarthy, very good, and I think they're getting a lot of bang for their buck. Although his ERA is kind of high, I know he will rebound and be better. Brett Anderson, well, he was okay. And Hyun Jung Ryu, he's still hurt, so that's going to hurt the rotation for a bit. And something I noticed about the games with the Dodgers, their bullpen is still bad. They did nothing to address it except for getting rid of a few players. Jansen is hurt, and I think as long as that stays that way, Dodgers are going to have a lot of issues. Agon can't hit 5 home runs every 3 days. Sorry, other aspects have to happen here. Without Hunter Pence, I wasn't really convinced with his offense. But Angel Pagan is not a bad number 3 hitter. I'm very impressed with him. Aoki's okay, and Casey McGee, I think he's hurt again. He's hurt, so never mind him. But overall, though, I was actually pretty impressed with the offense. I don't think they're going to go anywhere because, after all, it's an odd year. But regardless, I was pretty impressed with the team. Now, Mad Bum had some issues in his first start. Well, not really issues, but he didn't. I feel like in the playoffs and season Bumgarner, they're not the same, and you can clearly see that the way he starts. He had some issues his second start. Tim Lincecum, very surprising. He pitched a great game. And they need him to pitch great if the Giants want to go anywhere because this rotation is full of a bunch of guys who should be number 4 and 5 in any given rotation, but they're 1, 2, and 3, so you got to deal with that. So if the Giants want to go anywhere, they're going to have to expect Kane and Lincecum and Mad Bum to be the team that they need to be. And, of course, Castilla was very good in his relief appearance. Last team to discuss, and the one I'm looking forward to discuss the most, is the Padres. The Padres really improved the most. Obviously, the big deal is getting Upton and Norris and Kemp, especially Kemp. Kemp's been very productive. Although I'm not sure why people are booing him. He didn't choose to come to the Dodgers, people. He was traded. It wasn't like he was going to the office and saying, hey, trade me. But regardless, well, he's on the Padres. He's been very good there. And more importantly, they picked up Kimbrel, they got Shields, even Brandon Morrow had a great start. Very surprising, low-risk, high-reward kind of player, and we're definitely seeing the high reward. Tyson Ross was very good in his first start, and as long as he's healthy, rotation healthy, offense healthy, this team got the talent to win, and I think they were making the Dodgers work for those victories, and as well as the Giants as well. So this team is finally making a push. You can't rely on Padres to be easy wins anymore. Although I think they might think you're going to be easy wins. Now I gave you my thoughts on every single team's outlook. I'm going to give you my predictions now for the entire season. First, starting with the A.L East. It's going to go Blue Jays, Orioles, Red Sox, Rays, and Yankees. A.L Central is going to be White Sox, Royals, Tigers, Indians, Twins. A.L West is going to be Mariners, Angels, Texas, Oakland, and the Astros. The Central for the National League is going to be the Cardinals, the Pirates, the Reds, the Cubs, and the Brewers. The N.L East is going to be the Nationals, the Mets, the Marlins, the Braves, and the Phillies. The West is going to be the Padres, the Dodgers, the Diamondbacks, Giants, and then finally concluding with the Rockies. Now for the Cy Young and MVP, I have two potential candidates for each one at this point in time. For the AL, I have either David Price or Chris Sale. For the MVP, I have Jose Abreu or Mike Trout. For the NL, I have either, for the Cy Young, I have either Clayton Kershaw or Johnny Cueto. For the MVP, I have Paul Goldschmidt or Joey Votto. So, those are my thoughts on the first week. I'm sorry the video is very long, but discussing all these teams takes a very long time. And now it's time for you guys to comment below and share your thoughts. And remember, you're not just sharing your thoughts with me, you're sharing your thoughts with the entire world of sports. If you liked the video, please throw some heat at the like button. Thanks for watching, have a great day, and I will see you next time.